Sick.
Yeah.
Sick. I'm so glad I found like the picture I was I had in my head.
Same.
I must have never looked at. I must have put it in my CD sleeve, and
Yeah.
that was the end of that.
Which would make perfect sense. In 2005.
Yeah, for sure.
You put things in your CD case. It held like 96, depending on which one you had. And you wanted the one that held 96. And then you never saw the jewel case again.
No, just threw it away. What's the point?
Like a dust jacket on a book.
Right. For those of you at home who are under the age of 40, a CD was a physical version of music.
Oh, I don't like that.
And cars at the time, I know this is going to be nuts. Not only do you not know what a CD is, probably, cars used to have players in them to where you would put in a physical piece of music in order to play it.
Have we talked about on this show, like when I accidentally bought a new stereo that did not have a CD player?
No, but I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I guess it's just Bluetooth from here on out, or I'll plug my CD player into the aux port.
Aux. Yeah. All right, so for you people at home who are under 40, an aux port was a way that you would connect something to your car via a cable.
I hate all of this.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even know if it's under 40. I mean, that existed for a very brief period of time in the grand scheme of things.
So helpful, though.
Like 20 years at most.
Yeah.
Again, I doubt it was even that long. Ooh, so anyway, now that we've got our get off our lawn talk out of the way, now there'll be more probably, but welcome to the 2 Decades Too Late podcast, everyone. I am Brad hanging out with Josh.
Sup?
This is a podcast in which we rate and review an album that is turning 20 years old, mostly metal for whatever it's worth. I don't know today. I don't know what to say about that.
The word metal is in there once amongst a plethora of a cornucopia of other words.
Yes, that is super fair. Josh and I each give a rating of 1 to 5 to 4 different parameters for an individual maximum point total of 20 and a combined maximum point total of 40.
20 choots.
20 choots. Oh,
yeah, gross.
Speaking of not sure if it's metal, what do we got going on?
Oh boy, I wish I could tell you, but I cannot pronounce the name of the city that they're from. Washington State. Mukilteo? We'll go with Mukilteo, Washington. It's probably much more indigenous than that, but to my Anglos...
McHale show? McHale Tiao? Man, I got McCall-T-O. M-U-K, Muck-L-T-O. McHale-T-O.
It's I-L, McHale-T-O?
But the pronunciation has an E-L as the... Yeah, Muck-L-T-O. Gross.
Sure.
Not if you're from there, I'm sure.
Mucktown, that's what we call it.
Yeah, old Mucky.
They're from old Mucky, Washington. I'm just gonna dive right in. It's Fall of Troy. It's the Fall of Troy.
Yeah.
It's
Fall of Troy.
I'm excited to talk about this, but
I am too, because I didn't see it coming the way I landed. So I'm very excited.
I don't know where this is gonna go. It's gonna be I got nothing. But active for 3 years at the point of this particular release. They did have one studio album prior to this, the eponymous The Fall of Troy in 2003. And
which I know I've heard based on the cover, like it looked like a familiar cover, but I don't remember it at all.
I recall it being a worse version of this, and there's probably a specific reason for that, which we'll talk about later. But this one was released August 16th, 2005 on Equal Vision Records. So
Huh.
pretty. It's kind of a big deal for this band in that space. I mean, they currently have artists like Amberlin, Armor for Sleep, As Cities Burn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yellow card?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I guess so.
Just don't get too many of those. You'll turn into red card and you'll be thrown out.
Man. I have never thought of that.
Me neither. Here we are.
Wow. Holy shit. Is that what they're named after?
I could not tell you, but it is now.
You just blew my fucking mind. I got nothing. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do the rest of this after that.
Oh, speaking of which, little bit of cleanup from last week's episode. It was not actually a revocation song that I was thinking of. It was the song I was thinking. Don't get me wrong. Plenty of examples of revocation songs that are dangerously close.
Yes.
But the exact example that I had in my head was Sleeping Bag by Dead to Fall.
Yep.
Fantastic song, by the way.
Fantastic song. Is that on the Are You Serious?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's called Sleeping Bag. Yes, it's on that album.
Yeah, true enough. Well, I mean, they kind of got into that a little bit on Phoenix Throne. Is Phoenix Throne this year, by the way?
I don't think so.
That's too bad.
Maybe it is. Which one's first, that or Villainy and Virtue? We already did
Villainy and Virtue.
Yeah,
we did that. So if that was 04, though, it stands to reason that Phoenix Throne would probably be 06.
We have to wait for Phoenix Shoot.
God, it's such a good album.
Shoot
Listen
Throne.
to it this weekend, actually. Yeah. Meat Shoot Throne.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, it's not great. So Fall of Troy, weird band. Math rock is probably the best thing I could.
Math rock is listed on their wiki as one of the genres for this album. Progressive metal, which I guess I probably would have called it in 2005. Post-hardcore, which I kind of get to some extent.
Yeah.
And emo, which I also kind of get to some extent.
Yeah, they're all over the place. If you've never heard Fall of Troy, I can't even liken them to anything, really.
Yeah, I got nothing. They seemed like very much in a vacuum in 2005. Which surprised me to find that one of the songs off this album, FCP Remix, was kind of sprinkled around quite a bit. It was featured in Saints Row, MLB 2K, Guitar Hero 3.
I do remember that. God, that song was fun.
Yeah.
Super good. I have that somewhere.
Good.
Actually. Maybe that's what I'll do
Dig
later.
it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, and actually some of their follow-up albums even managed to hit Billboard charts, which I never realized.
Same, mostly because I don't think I listened to a single thing they did after this. I think this is pretty much my coffin.
I tried a lot. I wanted to be a Fall of Troy fan because they were so weird and kind of unique in the space at the time, or so I thought. And then nothing ever ended up sounding like this ever again.
Yeah, true enough. Josh Walden and I saw them in Columbus, and they broke up on stage.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it wasn't. It sucked. And then the guitar player vocalist came out and did like acoustic Nirvana covers.
Oh, I could see that.
That was kind of fine. I don't know. He seems like a pain in the ass from everything I can tell. Cause
I could see that as well.
Yeah. But yeah, that was something. They got like 3 songs in, so definitely worth the, at the time, hour drive or more. So that's fucking great. But
yeah.
Anyway. Thanks, Fall of Troy.
Right. The guitar player being Thomas Erak, Erak, E-R-A-K.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, apart from being in Fall of Troy, he was in so many other bands, kind of, and did some weird collaboration stuff. Tim Ward, the bassist, also in other bands. Andrew Forsman, the drummer on this album, also did other stuff. Pretty active musicians, it seems like. Pretty talented musicians. Very talented.
I was going to say, I mean, it makes sense mostly because they're all just incredibly good at what they're doing. even if you don't like it, it's still kind of a sight to behold situation.
Yeah, I think they were around 17 when their first album was released. They were definitely like still in their teenage years, or maybe early 20s when this came out. And
you can hear it.
Yeah, you can hear it. But they're going for it. Like they definitely
they are.
Spent lots of time stuffed in their rooms getting familiar with their instruments.
I
didn't have to say that way.
No, it's awful. Yeah. Hey man, I fucked my guitar. What about you?
Well, the shape is pretty self-explanatory.
Indeed. Yeah. No, I mean, it's weird going back to 05. It's weird listening to this in the mindset that we're in now with being so focused on music from a specific time frame, because anyone else that was kind of in this world was going super heavy or going super emo.
Right.
I mean, maybe I was trying to think of someone else that might have. I genuinely can't think of anyone who just somehow landed directly in the middle, like between like My Chemical Romance and Into the Moat. But that's what it is, and it's wild.
It is wild.
I mean, good for them. Good for them. I'm glad there's some of that stuff coming back. We kind of lost that for a while, I feel. Like the Blood Brothers, from bands just not giving a fuck and just making... I'm not saying it was all good. Actually, most of it wasn't. But the experimental nature was sick, and I'm glad we have like the Calloused Boys now and bands like that that are really sick and seemingly doing whatever they want to. They're so good. Yeah. They have 3 new tracks out so far from their new album, and they're all excellent. I was super into this band at the time.
Same.
But I hadn't listened to it in a while. Like there's been maybe a couple songs here and there would come on, but I realized I skipped most of this album when I listened to it.
Oh, really?
I was 100% familiar with like 4 songs.
Interesting.
And I was vaguely familiar with the rest. And I don't know what the reason was at the time, but I have an idea of why that might be the case.
Which tracks? I'm super curious.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. So I obviously track 1, I Just Got This Symphony Going is really good. Yeah. Honestly, it might just be like the first 3 songs, and then We Better Learn to Hotwire a Uterus at track 8, which is the funniest song title ever.
Just fantastic.
And I honestly, that was pretty much it, I think.
Really?
I've heard all of it, but turns out I don't have the opinions on this that I expected to have. So
that's incredible. I listened to this through and through very many times on repeat. Probably in the past 20 years, I don't know, maybe listen to there'd be like a week at a time where I'd listen to this album on probably 5 separate occasions. And I'm like, all right, got my Fall of Troy fix.
For sure. And I've done the same, but it's generally at work, I think, where it's just kind of on. So I'm not catching anything more than I ever did. I think that's why that happens. But same. I mean, I still listen to it every once in a while. I just don't know if I've never put this much effort into listening to it. I've never tried to interesting. I don't know.
Yeah. Probably, coinciding with anything I hear about Fall of Troy, or if they release a new song or something, I try and listen to that, and I was like, oh, this isn't Doppelganger. And then I go back and I listen to Doppelganger for a little while.
Yeah, that's fair. I do that with a lot of bands, so that makes sense. And so before we started, I brought up the fact that the lyrics might have made me think somewhat, sort of, kinda, that it's a concept album. And you said you did not agree. Why is that?
I would like to hear what through line that you kind of found in the lyrics first.
Well, it seems like he's stalking somebody throughout the album, with the last track ending on him getting the person in a very serial killer manner, but it seems to be that he thinks they are the same person when they're not. from what I can tell. And I don't know. It just seems, and it comes up a few times in different songs.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, so it's very strange. So it was total guess. There's really not that much information on the wiki about this.
No,
really, but
not at all.
No, go figure. Fall of Troy. Do you know who they are, everybody? I don't know.
Right.
It's very possible that all of you out there, gang, like none of you have heard that. It's possible. Even though we all loved it. I mean, our whole crew at the time was like so into this, it was not even funny.
Yeah.
Which will come into play in the scores, despite my opinions about the album overall. I believe. Yeah. So why do you think that it isn't? Is it because some of the other songs are from old albums or whatever it is?
That's precisely it. And that kind of shattered my view of this album, because I have kind of tracked Fall of Troy through release after release, and I thought this was kind of like the one standalone where all the songs, except FCP Remix, but like even that I didn't remember it being just like a re-recording. I kind of remembered it being like a sequel more so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, it's not. It's a re-recording. 4 of these songs.
3 songs? 4? Yeah.
Are from re-recorded tracks from the self-title. And then it says, hence the name Doppelganger. And then the song Macaulay McCulkin was taken from the Ghost Ship demo, which came out in between these two. The wiki says Macaulay McCulkin was taken from the Ghost Ship Demos EP and was put onto Doppelganger for unknown reasons.
Huh. See, that's what makes me think, like, this guy's clearly brilliant. I think he's also somewhat off his rocker a bit, which I think you almost have to be a little.
You're off your trolley.
So I don't know. I mean, would it really be that weird to think that he had the idea going? You know what I mean? I don't know.
It would not be that weird. Yeah. That's kind of, when you said it, I was like, oh, maybe it's kind of a through line from some of those earlier songs anyway.
Yeah. Man, the lyrics to Macaulay McCulkin are dark.
Yeah.
Man, they are dark. I didn't read all of them on this, just because I knew most of, like, a lot of them anyway. And they're just kind of in the background, but
that's
I don't know why.
Over the docks, on top of the rocks, knock, 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 motherfucker, the door's locked. Right?
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
And then
man, it's a lot.
Maybe he forgot about the time, maybe I'm mistaken. But I swear to God, you're not getting out of this without some kind of explanation or abstaining occupation in this area. And it ends up with, I'm not at 45! I know you will forget the fucking name.
Yeah, he's like, I'll be waiting outside with an empty body bag.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, fuck. So, yeah. Sick.
Weird to name it after Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
Or Macaulay McCulkin, sorry.
Macaulay McCulkin, yeah. Also, like, I had to look up, like, 2 names. Because I didn't know who Johnny Truant was, and I didn't know who Tom Waits was, which Tom Waits seems like I should know who he is.
I knew Tom Waits, but like in 2005, I probably didn't.
Well,
but I always thought it was just because the rest of the names are so weird. I thought it was literally about a guy named Tom who was waiting. It never occurred to me like, oh wait, Tom Waits is an actual person.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar. Folk music,
yeah.
I have no compass for folk music. Your parents had to be into that at our age, I think.
No.
And if they weren't, like, it wasn't like that was all over the place on a radio station.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it. Yeah.
So who's Johnny Truant? I thought that was just like a genuine, like a generic term for a class skipper.
No, so Johnny Truant, first is a character from the book House of Leaves, which I've not read because I don't read. And then also a metalcore band from the early 2000s from Britain. And they are good.
Oh.
Like, good. Right. Good. They weren't around very long. And I tried to see if maybe I don't know. I could see the vocalist of Fall of Troy being the type holding a grudge and being very blatant about it. I don't know why I have that opinion of him. I don't know him at all. But again, I did watch him physically attack his bass player in the middle of a show. So,
you have a basis.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's not an unfounded opinion.
No, it seems like this is just a very popular book, and there's no tie between the two. When I saw it was a metalcore band first, and I got so excited. I'm like, holy shit, I'm about to find some drama between two bands no one has ever heard of. No, I didn't. It wasn't that interesting.
Well, now I got to ask, is Johnny Booth a real person?
I don't know. If you haven't listened to Johnny Booth,
also sick,
go listen to Johnny Booth.
Yeah, the album Moments Elsewhere from 2023. Just go do it. Turn it on.
It's fucking, they are.
So then, why Macaulay Culkin? Why not just Macaulay Culkin?
Maybe it's like a McChicken situation.
Macaulay McChicken.
Macaulay McCulkin.
Maybe it's a secret recipe item that you can get, like the McGangbang.
Yeah, I mean.
Sup, I want a Macaulay McCulkin.
Yeah. Do you want that with barbecue sauce? No.
It's pine needles and crushed up like Christmas tree ornaments.
On top of a New York style pizza. Yeah. It comes out in a limo.
I'm loving this.
That wasn't on purpose.
No, it was not.
Oh my god.
Fantastic.
Well, we won't do anything better after that.
Nope.
Oh, that's great.
What a fantastic way to get sued.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, also at track 5, mouths like Sidewinder missiles.
Yeah.
It's spelled wrong on Spotify.
Why?
It's just MISLES.
Okay.
I know. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, I always thought it was missiles. Yeah. I'm like, this is hilarious. Man, these guys are quirky to a T. And then I'm like, oh no, everywhere else it is properly spelled like missiles. So,
well, let's just talk about the other couple, because there's Laces Out Dan, which is obviously Dan Marino and Ace Ventura. Yep. And then Wacko Jacko steals the Elephant Man's bones. That's Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. That makes
Did he steal them or buy them?
He bought them.
I thought so.
Yeah. He was a psychopath.
Yeah. Wacko Jacko, as it were.
You know what? Wacko Jacko.
Let's not.
Much more of an applicable nickname to that person now than it was then. Oh, what a piece of shit. Man, what are you gonna do?
Also, aside from all of this that we're discussing, there is music on this album.
True. But the names alone,
there's not a lot to say about the actual music. It's good.
It's fine.
It's good.
It's fine. We'll talk about it.
The musicians are good.
The musicians are great, but they have that same sort of problem that BT Bam gets at times, where it's like, you have the whole universe of a tool belt to fuck with.
Yeah.
You have laid no guardrails down for what we expect from you, which is a beautiful thing for a musician to do.
Yeah.
And yet you repeat roughly 4 or 5 of the same things, maybe in slightly different variations, but pretty much the whole album is 5 different ideas done in different ways.
Yeah. Albeit so weird things. Like, you had to go pretty far into the tool belt to get, like, you got an adz and a Dremel. Yeah, Dremel's pretty ubiquitous. What's another obscure tool? But anyway,
honestly, but if that's what you do, then it's not weird to you. You know what I mean? Like if I write a song that doesn't, and it's easy for me to play, that doesn't mean it's easy for someone else to play. That just means that's my that's how I do my thing.
Right.
I don't know. I was less interested by this musically now than I was then. I actually got pretty bored with it, if I'm being honest.
I can see that.
I went into this thinking this was going to be a 40 all day. Like, I mean, I had no doubt in my mind whatsoever. Right. And I genuinely wanted to give up on it 4 songs in.
Damn.
Like, I was bored. I was just like, why is there 3 minutes of instrumental parts in the middle of every fucking song? Like, I'm not saying he's not even that good of a vocalist, to be honest. He's fine.
He is not. In fact, that's part of what I hate about most of the follow-up albums is that, like, his vocals are even worse.
Yeah, no, singing. He gets, yeah, it's not good. It's fine on here, and it's like, I wouldn't be able to even think while playing any of this on guitar, let alone sing it as well. Right. So I'm no disrespect to the guy. I mean, it almost doesn't even matter. But at the same time, I genuinely, it's like every single song has a 2-minute bridge of instrumentation, and they vary kind of like ish. I don't know.
That's super. Well, that's fair-ish. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, or it isn't. I don't know. This could be a situation where maybe I ran it into the ground more than I thought 20 years ago. I mean, that's in play. That's definitely in play. But yeah, I was so bored with this by the end, and that's the exact opposite reaction that I anticipated. Just because it's not boring music at all. It's fucking weird as hell. And
yeah, it's not weird music. It's just weirdly assembled bits of music.
Drummer, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I really paid attention to the rhythm section this time. Actually, I've heard the guitar.
Yeah, exactly. With the bassist is incredible.
Yeah, he's going nuts.
Yeah, he is just crushing it. Well, again, the talent is not lacking here. That's not I'm not trying to insinuate anything like that, but I just expected like this crazy do whatever the fuck band to just keep my interest for longer than it did, but it happens.
And the bassist is the only position that's changed throughout the band's history,
which I did not see coming.
No.
I mean, again, based on all the turmoil that band had publicly back in the day. I mean, what I saw was not even unique. I mean, I'm fairly certain that happened like 6 different times on that same tour.
Right.
They were a disaster of a band. So when I saw that the 2 members have been in it the whole time, I was shocked.
Very slim shocked on the former members.
Well, I would not have had that on my bingo card at all. I mean, I absolutely expected this to be like a
throw down a run for their money.
Yeah, exactly. But no, to your point. I will say though, also the harsh vocals. Does it differentiate who is that? The bass player?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. I didn't know if they both did them or if it was or how that was, but they're also not very good. They're okay. They're doing their best while playing really difficult music.
I think a good portion of them are the guitar player, but the like noticeable unclean vocals are always the bassist actually.
Sick. Okay. Good to know.
Not just this bassist, just always the bass player.
He's always doing the harsh vocals. Yep. That's cool. Also, I mean, we'll talk about the production obviously later, but the producer Barrett Jones on this.
Yes.
Did you find anything out about that guy?
Yeah, he's like a huge deal in the Washington State, Seattle area, like Nirvana, Foo Fighters, Pearl Jam producer.
Oh,
huge deal. Yeah.
That's confusing on a lot of different levels.
Yeah.
That's weird. Wow, good for them, I guess. I mean, I guess. Doesn't seem like they got his best work, if that's the case, I must say.
I thought he did a good job.
Right. Ooh, boy, we are not going to land the same on this at all.
Damn.
Man, this is insane. I never would have saw this. When I woke up and I was super stoked. I'm like putting fucking Fall of Troy on. Let's do it. And I did think by about track 2 or 3 where I'm like, oh, this is not the reaction I thought I was going to have to this.
All right.
Well, how about that? I mean, as far as the track by track breakdown, it's just I don't know. They're different
They are different.
But they got kind of their thing that they do, and
Macaulay Culkin is an 8-minute song at the end of the CD that I always thought was 2 separate songs. I was very shocked one day when I tried to get to the latter half of that song and I couldn't find it on the CD, and I was like, oh shit, it's just part of that song.
Huh.
It is the longest song. The rest are like 4 of them are at 3 minutes and under, and then the rest are like 4 or 5 minutes. So, like, it's a decent variety.
Also, do you miss early 2000 metalcore? I know this isn't a metalcore album by any means, but you're going to know what I mean when I ask it. But do you miss early 2000s metalcore like song titles?
No. God, no.
I don't at all. And I'm looking at this, I'm like...
The Devil Wears Prada was probably the apotheosis of that, and like...
Yeah.
It was just awful.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, Data Remember did a lot of that too.
They did, yeah. I'm made of wax, Larry. What are you made of?
Yeah.
But once you get to Dogs Can Grow Beards All Over, like that's the pinnacle. Yep, hang it up.
Yeah.
Move on to some other shtick.
Right. And speaking of, because we kind of said it, we didn't say the full thing, but track 4 is You Got a Death Wish, Johnny Truant?
Yep.
Question mark.
Yeah, so it starts off with I Just Got This Symphony Going, which is actually fine. Track 2 is Act 1, Scene 1, which is track 2, so that's hilarious.
It's, or mind-numbingly frustrating. Yeah.
One of the two.
One of those.
FCP Remix is track 3, the original being FCP SITS GEP GEP GEP.
Gross.
There's speculation, but according to the band's FAQ, no comment. Even if you figure it out, it doesn't mean anything. So whatever. Fuck us, I guess.
Yeah, all of us sheep just being way beneath them. I get it. God, that shit drives me fucking insane.
We talked about You Got a Death Wish. We talked about Mouths. There's the Holy Tape with a bracket of a missing letter, potentially. The Holly Tape, maybe?
Yeah, it could be. Or they're actually just showing a hole, a physical hole in the word holy.
Could be. Could be.
Either way, you know what it is? Stupid.
Yep. Laces out, Dan. We better learn to hotwire a uterus, which that one's fun.
No, that
can stay.
Just so fun. I don't know what it means, and it's hilarious.
That could easily be a Red Chord song.
Yeah.
Wacko Jacko Steals the Elephant Man's Bones, Tom Waits, and Macaulay Culkin.
You know, Tom Waits dated Bette Midler.
I noticed that. That was pretty cool.
That is something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also, I don't know why I felt the need to, like, remember this, but when you type in Fall of Troy in Wikipedia, the first option is not the band. It is, in fact, the actual Fall of Troy, and I felt good about that.
That's nice.
That is nice. I was like, good. I'm glad more people care about that.
Suck it, the band.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I don't think we're gonna. This might be one of the bigger it
really might be.
Opinions. Yeah, because like for me, this just seems like a really young dude with a just wild stream of consciousness that no producer was able to like sort out a little bit. It's like,
that's funny because I would consider this like the best version of that compared to any of the other CDs. Maybe really? Because they are tamer or more constrained, but
yeah,
this is what I heard Fall of Troy as, and this is what I always wanted Fall of Troy to be.
That's super fair. Now I'm gonna have to listen to some of the newer albums because now I'm curious.
Well, they're all just re-recordings of other shit, except maybe Manipulator.
Really?
The immediate follow-up to this?
Though. Because really, how much... Again, I got bored with it. I got bored with it on one album. So I don't know how interesting you can keep that
they had
long term.
They had a release in 2020 that I think had a couple new songs on it. I think maybe the album OK in 2016 had maybe all new stuff. This could have been the last one to be compilations of, apart from the 2020 release. But
that's fair.
I don't
Interesting.
know. If I remembered more or cared a little bit more, I could answer this. But here we are on a podcast about this album. The exact and only place to really
really care.
Yeah.
to put the effort in.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I don't know, man. I don't have a lot to add. I don't want to start like beating it up until I'm putting my money where my mouth is with my scores a little bit.
Fair.
So
I'm interested in that.
Review?
Yeah.
Sick.
That's the kind of thing I'd tune in for.
Stay tuned after the break.
We should make a whole podcast about that.
We should. Review.
Let's start off with the artwork.
Let's.
Did you not give it a 5?
I gave the artwork a 5.
Sick.
Yeah. It's very, very well done. It's I don't know, the conjoined twin pops because it's just almost like a white on top of a really dark, weathered looking crimson.
It is a nice weathered crimson.
Yeah. And everything looks like it's sprawling out from itself. It's almost like the Upside Down and Stranger Things, but like in a painting. See, I love everything about the artwork. It's incredible.
It's got a little Tim Burton-y feel to it, but not in a cartoonish way. The artwork is by an individual named Kester Limner.
That's an incredible name.
Yeah, it's strong.
That is strong. Not the name I would think of for an artist.
No.
I would think Kester Lindner, drinks cognac at the club with,
definitely like a Jack Kerouac vibe.
A lion head on the... Yeah. Yeah, he's in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
He climbs rocks.
He does.
Which is basically
climbs rocks.
The most reductive thing you could say about a person named Kester Limner.
I know. Yeah, whatever. I bet he climbs rocks.
He goes by Dave.
Oh, man. Awesome.
Yep.
Absolutely awesome. I assume you also landed on a 5 then?
I also gave it a 5, yeah. I think their
Sick.
Logo's fantastic. It blends right in with the branchy blackness, and Doppelganger's just down there in the corner. It's super well done. And you were remembering the actual CD,
disc,
which continues a lot of this artwork.
Yeah, I was super confused, gang, because I don't remember this even being red, and if you look at it, it is almost entirely red.
It is very red.
And I just pictured something white, and it turns out the physical disc. Again, see the beginning of the episode for an in-depth explanation as to what that is.
Worth noting,
God,
you could stick your tongue through the middle and it would look like a nipple.
Yep.
That's what we did with CDs.
008 on a calculator, you know what I mean?
Yep, I do.
Calculators, for those who don't know, did not used to be an application on a telephone. It was a physical thing you had to change the batteries in.
A standalone device.
Yep, that was expensive. If you wanted a halfway decent one, they were like $100.
Uh-huh.
All right. So we'll let you tell me what you thought of the production then, verse now, because I
I was originally going to give it a 4 because I think sonically it sounds really good. It still sounds really good. And then I talked myself into a 5 when I could really hear what the bass was doing, what the drums were doing. You could always hear what the guitar was doing. You could always hear the vocals. But knowing that they do all at least play together, and they're all kind of like celebrated at different times. Like there's some straight up bass solos in here for no reason.
True.
And there's definitely parts where the drummer is featured over the guitars or the bass. So like in that regard,
sure.
like the production is very good. And I gave it a 5 because I didn't really consider like, you know, helping in songwriting or in any way like that type of production role.
Sure. I mean, that's fair. I don't know. I've bumped myself up to a 3.
Okay.
From a 2. But I don't like it. And I think compared to now, I think it sounds like trash. To be honest with you, I think it sounds bad, like legitimately bad. The kick drum comes in and out. Like there's no, what am I trying to say here? There's no consistency at all. It's just like sometimes it punches through and sometimes you can barely hear it. And it's that's on the producer to level that out for the drummer. Like, for sure. Because that's a normal thing. Not every hit you're going to make is the same. They don't need to all be the same, but there are times where I almost can't hear what the kick drum is doing, and there are other times where it's like all I can hear. So yeah, I don't like it. I'm giving it a 3 because you are right about everything coming through for the most part as far as the individual musicians, but I'm more tempted to give that to their talent more than I am to the producer's production. But I mean, they're both part of it. So yeah. What is that from?
It's this.
What is that? Is that? No, well, I know, but I'm thinking of either a Family Guy or American Dad, where they like zoom up to someone's mouth and he's going.
It's I'm pretty sure it's Peter as a siren. He's like on a rock in
Man,
in a clamshell brawl, and he's like singing a song, and then he eventually just goes.
Yep, that is exactly right. Good. That would have bothered me the rest of the day, though. Yeah. I mean, how much more am I going to do the rest of the day other than watch Family Guy? But,
that'd be hard to find. I can't tell you where to look. I just know that that's what it is.
All right. Anyway, so you've got a 5, okay, and a 3. So we've got both of the scores. Just want to make sure.
Impact at the time.
Weirdly a 4. Like, despite my enjoyment right now, but I can't. Well, it did impact me in the way that some of the 5s did. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't go out like after a Norma Jean video to try to do a backflip, you know, or whatever it was. Right. This was more just like, man, you can use the higher register of your instrument if you want to.
That's true.
So, but no, I listened to the shit. I listened to it constantly. I mean, at the time, this would have been a 5 on everything for me.
Right.
So yeah, I'll go with a 4 though. I can't give it a 5 because it just didn't have that extra little,
bit.
Yeah. What about you?
I almost did the same exact thing, but I gave it a 5 because it was like so in its own pocket. I was like, well, this is its version of a 5. Like, no, I didn't try to write music like this because I couldn't. But like this, it just hung around for a long time. And like I said, I wanted to be a The Fall of Troy fan. It just never materialized because they let me down in a huge way. I blame them personally for the shortcomings of their follow-up albums. Even though they met with wider mainstream success, they didn't cater to my individual taste. So
fuck.
Which I guess maybe I just talked myself. No, I'm gonna keep it a 5.
That's fair. I mean, I get it. Yeah. I'll just say that I'm really grateful that we got Dance Gavin Dance.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're the same, but I think it's an evolutionary next step.
That is true. I'll
You know what I
agree
mean?
with
So
you. Yeah,
they filled that void for me, I think, a little more. And that's thanks to you too, man. You like this lane
I do like
a
this
lot.
lane. Yeah.
Which is sick. It's a good lane.
And if you
I
still
dig it.
like Dance Gavin Dance a little bit, check out the band Dwellings. No.
Yeah.
Check it. Is the band No. I can do this.
Is that not the man?
The album was Dwellings. Damn it.
Man, I bought it.
No.
Hook, line, and
The
sinker.
band is Dwellings. The album was Little Garden.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Fantastic. Fantastic album.
Good job. Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? I'll go first on the next one so we can end on a high note.
Sounds good.
Enjoyed listening today. I gave it a 2.
Yeah.
I really, and I have to be kind of honest, if it wasn't for like the 3 or 4 songs that I really like, I gave it a 2 to be nice almost. Because I was so checked out. Like, I was ready for it to end. Even though the last song, even though it's 8 minutes long, it's pretty solid. Again, there's the middle third of it that is just another stream of consciousness of part. But yeah, it's odd. I never would have saw that. I've been looking forward to doing this one for so long. I mean, this is like one of my this is in my top 10 of the year as far as what I was looking forward to doing. Yeah. So I was really surprised that I had the time with it that I did.
Did you only listen to it once?
No.
Damn. I was gonna say, because I felt a little like that. Like the first time I put it on, I was like, oh my God, what did we do? Like what we did when we were like that or the Bravery, and I had put this on first. I was like, sweet, I'll just listen to this. And I was like, I don't know, Craig.
Yeah.
But then to listen to it for this episode, like I had listened to it like 1 or 2 other times in between them, and I was like, all right, yeah, it's coming back. Yeah.
That's fair.
So I gave it a 5. I had a good time. I just wanted to know I'm having a really good time.
It gets really watchable. Sick. Well, I mean, that's how that was my my total expectation was that. So I'm not even surprised. Yeah.
I knew it wasn't getting a 40, but I knew I knew I gave it a 20, but I knew it wasn't getting a 40.
That's fair. That's super fair. Still pretty fucking strong, man. 20 from you, 14 from me, 34. That puts it up there. Yeah. So, all right. I
easily could have been a 16 for me. Like there's definitely places here and there I could have knocked it down if I was being just a tad more objective. But here we are.
We don't have to do that. It's our show.
That's right.
We can do whatever we want. All right. Well, Josh, as we are
choots from me.
Do 20 choots for a total of 34 choots.
Ew.
I know it's not good. It's worse.
Shmlee.
All right, so we pick our favorite songs from the album, one each, to put on our TDTL Favorite Songs 05 playlist on Spotify. Josh, what was your favorite song on Doppelganger by Fall of Troy?
It was hard to pick, but I went with Mouth's like Sidewinder missiles. And it's missiles, despite what Spotify is going to say.
And it's funny, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before, as far as like there just being a blatant misspelling of a word in Spotify. I don't know. Anyway, all right, sick. We got Mouths Like Sidewinder missiles for Josh. I'm gonna go with We Better Learn to Hotwire a Uterus.
That's a good call. 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
I don't know, you get in, you get out. See, and it's in that context, I enjoy them a lot. Because it's like, I don't need the middle to be that long. If you can be wacky and fucking 17 parts in a song all you want, Pig Destroyer does 18 parts in a 12-second song.
True.
So
That's
it's
great.
like, I'm totally into that. I don't necessarily dislike what they're doing. It's just, I don't know.
Calm down, Aryan.
I'm like, Jesus. Yeah. Go to McDonald's and get yourself a Macaulay McCulkin.
No kidding.
Jesus.
Awesome.
Sick. All right. Well, we will add those. Check us out on Instagram if you would like at TDTL_podcast. Because that's a thing.
Do that.
All right. All right. Doppelganger.
To play us out.
The fuck? What does that mean to play us out? Like to end the show?
Yeah. Fuck it. We'll do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. And with that, he's been Brad. I've been Josh, and we've been 2 decades too late.